So, there's a crisis right now in East Africa, and it's a crisis that's getting worse. Prolonged drought, soaring food prices, and conflict. That's the situation in Somalia. The UN has formally declared a famine in parts of southern Somalia. In a famine, 30% of children in an affected area must be suffering from acute malnutrition, and 4 children must be dying of hunger each day. That's 4 children for every 10,000 people. Those are a couple of the necessary conditions for famine. An estimated 12 million people have been affected by the drought in East Africa, which is the worst there for almost 50 years. Tens of thousands of Somalis have fled the country in search of food and water. Some have trekked for days toward refugee camps in Kenya and Ethiopia. I'm going to quote Mark Bowden. He's the UN humanitarian coordinator for Somalia. If we don't act now, famine will spread to all 8 regions of southern Somalia within 2 months due to poor harvests and infectious disease outbreaks. It is likely that tens of thousands of people have already died, the majority of these being children. Somalia hasn't had an effective government for 20 years. The country has been torn apart by internal conflicts. It's a failed state in reality. It's difficult for international aid agencies to do their job, to help people, because of this Al-Shabaab insurgent group. This group controls parts of southern and central Somalia and large portions of the capital, Mogadishu. They have been preventing their own people from being able to access assistance, critically needed assistance. What a disgrace. If you want to make a donation, you can do so through a number of agencies here online. I myself made a donation through the Human Relief Foundation. If you donate £20, it will provide a family with a food sustenance parcel to last for 2 weeks. The UN says it needs £1.5 billion to manage the crisis, and they're not there yet. So people need to reach into their wallets or their purses, and they need to give. It's a matter of life and death for the poor folks living in affected areas. So they need you. They need you to do the right thing. It's not just Somalia that's being affected by the crisis. Many people in Kenya, Ethiopia, the Sudan and Eritrea are in serious danger as well. The warning signs for this crisis have been seen for months, and the UN has been sounding the alarm for several months, but the world has been slow to act, and that's terribly unfortunate for many living across the Horn of Africa. This famine is likely to persist until the end of the calendar year. There's not going to be any rain in the Horn until October. So the victims of this crisis depend on outside help. They rely on the compassion and goodwill of their fellow human beings across the planet. Anyway, peace, YouTube. Have a lovely day, folks.